They were set to go. Opening bounce, 3 umpires tonight. Back to just the 3. Smith wins it down, taken by Parker. He hooks it towards half forward. Mackey on the way down. Enright in real trouble here. A couple of revolutions. Either one of two can take the free, and fittingly, he pulls rank because Kieran Jackie's got the free. Forward end of the square, looks inside the 50, sets it towards the pocket. Franklin comes hard. Well, in front, Kolodjasny stood his ground. Selwood applies a tackle. Hewitt in trouble. Kolodjasny, good tackle.
Love to see that from Buddy Franklin. Attack on the ball. Geelong players getting back into the space. He did exactly what he needed to do. Compete hard, bring the ball to ground.
So Jack again, don't tell me a goal coming up. I think it is. Yep, he has. 200th game. And have a look at the reaction. We know the week that he's had, Kieran Jack. Stu Bolton talked about the character of the guy pre-match. Well, he pulled rank a moment ago and took the free kick, and, well, a remarkable start. A remarkable start. I mean, it's an emotional night, isn't it?
It certainly is. You're right, Bruce. He's had a huge week. So much has been played out publicly that he certainly would have preferred to have stayed private. But he's doing there what he loves doing best, and that is just playing footy in his 200th game. He's a wonderful footballer, a wonderful leader, and you can see by that reaction there, a wonderful teammate to all his players.
In the words of Steely Dan, go back, Jack, and do it again. He did that. He's kicked a few goals in his time. Selwood goes after it. Jack, a man possessed at the moment. Dangerfield. Blitzard's in trouble. Parker's got him, fell at his feet. Naismith, pull roll between his legs. Dangerfield flicks it wide. Lang on the way down. Smith gives a hand pass to Mackey. Selwood. Rowan got here, jarred the ball out. Aye, says the umpire. Whoa. Even Selwood's a bit surprised.
Alia's got the match up on Mitch Clark, and Heath Grundy has gone to Tom Hawkins.
Thanks, Jude. So Taylor from Selwood. Yeah, I think Joel was surprised. I thought it was going to be against him. Kolodjasny's handball not good. Selwood, Cap's a bit sloppy early. Jack's been so important. Franklin going hard with Lonergan. Well played by Franklin. Parker again. Enright, terrific. No free kick for the Cats. They were a bit stiff. Franklin wraps up Enright. Ball up. Just to pick one on the black armbands for Sydney. Billy Williams was a great player. 3-time best and fairest. Just after the war, he's in their team of the century. Has passed away, Billy Williams. That's the reason for the black armbands for the Swans tonight.
Dangerfield, hurriedly. Mills over the football, taken high. No, apparently not. McCarthy came in strongly. Ball runs down towards the forward end of the square here. Aliya gives it off. In trouble, Rampy. Guthrie got him. McVeigh. Aliya once more. Down went Smith. Hanbury fends off. Naismith gives it to Kennedy. It's a really hot potato in there. Mills is over the football, rolls out the back. Naismith did okay. Gave it to a teammate there in McVeigh. It's going to be down the ground. It will be taken by Papley.
So Sydney attack again. Papley quickly. Franklin well placed. He ragdolled Lonergan. Whipped around him and took the mark.
He did. He certainly got rid of Tom Lonergan early then, Buddy Franklin, and in the end took an uncontested mark. Let's have a look at that one to see if that was head high. Lincoln McCarthy choosing to bump, and probably pretty lucky that he didn't get him in the head. Otherwise, that one would be looked at. Buddy turning that one into a mark. Sydney have started well.
He's kicked 49 goals against the Cats, a lot of them for Hawthorn in famous matches. Make it a half century. Big start.
Beautiful kick for goal from the Sydney champ. He's pumped. The Swans are pumped. Gee, they've started well. Their pressure's up. Geelong, 11 disposals, 9 handballs. That's just because of Sydney's pressure.
Sydney, 2 inside 50s, 2 goals. Duncan under pressure, stripped of the football. Parker, Mitchell, Towers find some clear air. Again they come forward, right on the 50 this time, knocked away by Taylor. Standing in front, Bartel. He was mowing down. Lloyd, Franklin again, weaving. Towers, it's touched off the boot inside the forward 50. Richards went to ground a little too easily. Dangerfield, Duncan. Now Cockatoo sends it forward. Motlop, forward of half back. Poor kick. Aliya gets across. Controlled it pretty well down low. Parker, Jones had to stretch. Duncan's got him. Slow release. Mitchell stood up. Spills across towards Mackey. Mackey the high ball, and the Cats are out here. Clark Well, little Rusty goes after the football, lays it off. Dangerfield nowhere to go. That was a bad hand pass, ran him into trouble, and we'll get a throw in.
Alia's been impressive early, hasn't he? One grabbing.
Read it well too, off the boot.
Yep.
Quicker than Mitch Clark.
So Jack and Franklin, the goal scorers. Smith wins the tap. They're winning the clearances. Sydney, Kennedy, Hanbury and Parker, and Mitchell. Therefore, kicks to centre wing. No mark by Kolodjassi. Did the right thing. Trying to crash through. There is Lloyd. He can't get out, though. Cats nearly get out. Lang's little kick. Is that deliberate? I think it is.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm not sure he meant that one to go straight to the boundary when you've got a couple of blokes hanging off you and all you're trying to do is get the boot on ball. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I saw it that way. I think the umpire's got it right anyway. Parker.
Right on the wing, Parker. They're feeding the man at the moment. Franklin comes out wide. Towers. He's at left half forward.
Coming out, thank you. 50 metres, Patrick, inside the protected area.
Against Dangerfield. Oh, what a bad start by the Cats. What a great start by Sydney.
Yeah, he just encroached on the man on the mark there from the side, and it's just evident at ground level how much Sydney are out hunting them. It's 14-9 and contested possession early on.
They're fanatical at the moment. Towers. He's had some interesting moments this season, all things considered. Should kick this. And he does. The dream start for Sydney.
Here's the 50-metre penalty. Patrick Dangerfield just not taking, I'm assuming, the most direct route out of the protected zone. Chris Scott certainly didn't like that one. Sydney started brilliantly well. They're winning the ball. They're using it well. Geelong just haven't gone forward at all.
He's in trouble, Sinclair.
On the ball, Geelong, dragged in.
Good call. So Selwood to get Geelong about as deep as they've been all night. Aliir getting back. Big fly from Hawkins. No mark taken. Ball not quite out. Hanbury doing the hunting. Motlop gets him down. And a ball up.
So Ted Richards tonight playing forward. Lockie Henderson's got that matchup on him, so he's not down back, as Jude said before. Aliir's got the job on Mitch Clark, while Grundy's on Hawkins.
Blackside did well to Lang. Hurried kick. Floats closer to goal. Mills controlled the bounce very well. Kicks towards the outer side. Knocked down by Henderson. Ruggles. Out wide. This is Bartel. Searching kick from behind McCarthy. Held in front, though, by his teammate. That mark has been taken. I think it's Cockatoo, is it? It is.
It is Nakia Cockatoo. Dennis, you're right. So I didn't think he got the first grab on this one. Let's have a look. Oh, a fair piece of it to Aliir. Aliir there. He's conned him well, though, the umpire. As he's gone down and taken the chest mark, he's made it look as though he had the first go at it. So a lucky one for Cockatoo.
Quite a contrast in the hands. There goes the kick from Cockatoo, and he puts it through. They needed that one.
Here it is again. Aliir getting the first piece of that. But Cockatoo doing the right thing, staying in the game, and claimed it beautifully. And the umpire fell for it. Geelong, much needed goal, that one. They've got to settle now, get back to the way they play.
G. Parker was good there. Sinclair, it was his free kick against him that put the Swans in trouble a moment ago. That's a good tackle, though, on Guthrie. Well done by Mitchell, getting out to Rose. Rose to fall forward. Taylor had to search. Taylor's little give. Danger. Rowan so quickly over the top. And Teddy misses. Wasn't easy, just trying to get his bearings. Such an important night, really, for Richards in many ways, isn't it? To get through the night. I know he's played a couple of games in the NEFL, but a lot of conjecture about where he's at, Teddy.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get any more knocks. You don't like to see players getting head knocks at all, but certainly repeat ones, not good.
What a bad kick in, intended to Duncan. Towers got there quickly, though, did well. Now Lang gets a free kick for a high tackle. Darcy Lang short, very short. Mackey's got it. Just looking to take a little sting out of this game at the moment. Harry Taylor has it now. Told to play on. Lonergan. This defence has just about seen everything, but amongst them, they make a mistake. Knocked away by Richards. It goes out of bounds. So much for their coolness under pressure. Right now, tested at every level.
And it was brilliant by Sydney there, Dennis. Right across the ground, they had all Geelong options covered. And as soon as those Geelong defenders looked up and wanted to find a free target, there was zero.
Clark won the tap, did well. Duncan's handball, didn't get very far. Sinclair. Towers as well. Hanbury flicks the handball out to a dangerous territory. Mills got a high tackle, no free kick. Kick to full forward is a good one. It's a goal. It's a goal. I think it might be his first too ever. It is.
Here we go.
So strong by Dan Hanbury. Arms free in the tackle, not just accepting the tackle. Broken tackle there. Callum Mills through Andrew Mackie. Looked for all money like Harry Taylor was going to get a hand on that, but got through for a goal. Another big moment for Sydney, and here they go again.
Kennedy got it from Mitchell. Kicks it down towards half forward. Rowan knocked away by Taylor towards the boundary, but it stays in. That came off below the knee, I reckon. Mackey's making the case. Boundary umpire won't have it, but did he touch it? Hard to say. Mills.
I reckon if he did, he would have been shouting very loudly.
Jack. That ball's across the boundary line as well. Just touching on Mills, doing the number 14 proud. Bobby and Paul. Famous number. Before that, Cockatoo getting a goal in number 5. Not bad either.
Absolutely. G. Ablett Senior and Bobby Skirton and Paul Kelly. I mean, some of the absolute greatest. Jack goes back. Grundy goes back. Lloyd ripped off it.
On the man, Sydney.
Polly Farmer was okay in the number 5 as well.
Yes. In fact, Andrew Mackie goes past Billy Goggin tonight on the all-time list. He roved a little to Polly over the years, did Billy, didn't he? A predecessor of yours as captain of the club. Bartel, the fly. Blixarves. Back to Enright. Enright building the ball back. Hanbury couldn't quite take the mark. Able to get half a handball away. Menzel was very, very good. Lonigan looking back. Dangerfield stood up strongly with the hips. McCartney, that's a terrific handball. And then gets it back from Menzel. And then once the boundary line doesn't quite get it. Now Rampy to set up. Swings it. Mills a little slow, but gets the kick away. There's a heap of Swans. Franklin was lurking at the back. Important ball. Good tackle there by McCarthy. Getting him down. Hanbury. Ball up.
Straight up.
Gee, they were on Sydney there because Franklin was off the back, wasn't he?
Hot ball tonight, and Sydney are the ones providing the most heat. But well done by Lincoln McCarthy, the young cat there, nailed an important tackle, otherwise the Swans were out.
Here's Mackey, got it from Duncan, close to the boundary line. Runs away and goes out of bounds. I'm sure the people at home, when Tom Lonigan had the footy moments ago, said kick it when he hand passed back, but he saw the same thing that the kick eventually did. It went to Rampy. That was what he was going to do, so he held on to it. But just not making opportunities up forward for the men bringing it out at the moment. Half the battle. Here's Jack, who started brilliantly from left half back. What a height on this one. Reaching over the top. It's slapped towards the boundary by Rowan. Good enough. They get a stoppage.
We spoke about those clearances earlier. It's 9-5 Sydney's way, but certainly they've just got the pace in the front half as well. With Papley, they've had Towers at different stages, and obviously Rowan as well, Sydney.
Yeah, Rowan's pace obviously a factor. She well read by Kennedy, and then feigned a handball. Neat kick to Franklin. Almost within range, you reckon. He's got a wide open goal square. If he went back, he's uncertain. He's going to spread it very, very wide to Grundy. Grundy with time to deliver to full forward. Not a great position, I would have thought. No hands in the back, apparently. Rose. Strong tackle by Kolodjasny. Good hands by Dangerfield out the back. And well done again, like Towers or Hewitt, it might have been that time. And Sydney continue to press.
Well, they're just turning their clearances into really good attacking moves, the Swans, at the moment. Josh Kennedy, brilliant off this stoppage at half-back for the Swans, and then the ball just flowed from there. They are moving the ball really well.
Blixarve, strong mark, plays on immediately. Henderson, Dangerfield, triangulation of fire around him. Still he won it. Got it to Selwood, over the top to Duncan. Knew where the help was. Cockatoo in trouble. Stripped of the football. Papley on his way down. Grundy, this is Jones. Kicks it up wide towards the wing. Runs on. In front Rose. Trying to push him off the line, Lonigan. Ball behind them, Mackie the opportunist. Now Bartel slips away. Lack of talking from behind. Eventually, Dangerfield got it from Lonergan. Breaks the tackle. Kicks it up towards the wing. Some indecision as to who would go. Lurking behind, eventually Smith tidies up. Back to the wing. Awkward bouncing footy. Dangerfield getting plenty of it. Was pushed in the back.
Geelong.
He's building Dangerfield, isn't he?
He is building, but he's had a lot of handballs. 6 handballs out of his 8 disposals. That's a better kick through the middle of the ground. Open up the fat side of the ground.
So Kolojazzi opens it up even more. And then Henderson wide. Neat looking kick, but oh, that's a good mark.
Go through. Hold that mark.
Towers.
Hey, Tom.
Tennis talked about the interesting year he's had, one night at the MCG, but a good start here. Sloppy handball by Rampy. Franklin under pressure. That should have been pinged, I reckon. Cockatoo, that's pinged. That's holding the ball. Advantage given. Sydney away slowly. Oh, they're gone. Oh, that's inexcusable by Mitchell, really.
How good's that, though, both ways?
So Menzel
Sums up the night perfectly, though. The pressure is high. Sydney have handled it better to this point, but both teams are just throwing their bodies in, tackling, harassing. This would be a big goal to lift his team, Daniel Menzel. With a tackle like that, a chase down tackle, if he can back it up with a goal, really gets his team going.
He's had 9-14 from set shots so far this year. He's hit that very, very well.
There's big tackles everywhere at the moment. And then what a chase by Dan Menzel. With the heat of tonight's game, Tom Mitchell needed to know that somebody was coming there.
Just watching Towers, I don't think he said a word. He was 5 metres away. Dangerfield wins another hard ball. Smith out of the middle, kicks it down towards half forward. Clark could have been taken high in that pack. Grabbed by Hawkins. Rampy tries to snatch it away. Spills to Mills. In goes Lang. He's dragged down. Crab, what a free kick. Hand pass comes out wide. Unintended. Bartella half chance. Was pulled in the goal square. Smith is tackled. Taken down by Blixards. In goes Mitchell. Ball rolls away. Flicked out only as far as Hanbury. Grundy out of the congestion. McCarthy. Kolojazny runs to the ball first though. Kicks it down towards full forward. Hewitt gives it to Mills. Touched off the boot. Now Rampy.
Just good kick by Mills under pressure. Rampy on the wrong side for him. Rowan made a wonderful effort there against Taylor. And the boundary thrown. How good was that a moment ago in the goal square for Geelong?
Oh, good footy between two good teams. Oh, good atmosphere too. The ground's rocking tonight.
Absolutely. Duncan. Selwood. Still in. Duncan's little give. Dangerfield brilliantly to Selwood. Selwood banging the ball forward. Mark taken by Clark. So Geelong starting to win little 50-50s. Duncan running hard. Free kick. Hawkins.
Holding. It was early. That was early. That is so bad. Straight back. Time back on.
Well done by Heath Grundy. Oh, gee, I reckon he
2 metres to your left.
had a fair argument there. I think he's just beat him for strength.
Right at the mark. I'll give him his
Maybe
16.
a little bit early. Ball's probably too far away. That's probably what's
15
hurt
gone,
Heath
Tom.
Grundy there, but there was no holding. And if you beat someone for strength in a marking contest, usually you get away with that. Only thing I can think of is how far that ball was away.
Such a good view of the Hawkins shot here. So the Cats close the gap.
Just get the feeling that Sydney haven't got value for effort.
Tom about to become a father, is he?
He is, yes. Just announced during the week, him and his now wife, Emma, expecting their first child. So congratulations to Tom and Emma. That just moved out to a nice farm just outside of Geelong as well. So we're getting back in touch with their country roots, both brought up on a farm.
Naismith taps it down. Dangerfield getting very busy now. Putting his stamp on the game. Plays on wide of the mark. Jack gets after him, but not in time. Ball inside the forward 50. Launching himself with Smith. Falls behind a Hawkins. He's dragged down, but not before he got a hand pass away. Smith overran the football. Rose at close quarters. Ricochets off Naismith. Went and got it again. Smith hurriedly out of the defensive 50. Dangerfield once more. Slaps it across towards Enright. Gets it back. A couple of metres in from the boundary. Sends it down towards full forward. Mills missed it in front. Aaliyah played it okay. Lloyd comes away.
Long kick by Lloyd. They're under siege, Sydney, in front of the scoreboard, but Geelong really hammering it. And Dangerfield is symbolic of what's happened in the last 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's starting to get in control at ground level. 12 disposals now, Dangerfield, and he's using his hands early, but now he's penetrating with that kicking.
He's so aggressive with his attack on the foot. He's got the power and the speed to break away, but he's just got that aggressive mindset. If the ball's there, he wants to make it his.
Jack's been good. Clever little kick, well done by Henderson. Towers getting forward, Mitchell. Richards held up. No, play on. So Teddy maybe a little lucky. Murdoch working it towards the line.
Just to highlight how much pressure Sydney have been able to put Geelong under with their kick-to-handball ratio. This is what Paddy Dangerfield does. Just even his teammates have got to get out of the way there, just going straight through. 28 kicks, 42 handballs for the Cats at the moment. So that's why we're highlighting the pressure from both sides so much. Sydney are just really forcing them to overuse by hand at the moment. But they've weathered it a little bit and starting to turn it in to some good forward movement.
Great tackle by Kieran Jack there on Selwood. Stopped him dead. Naismith, tall man, knocks it down. Smith across to Selwood, gains about 15 metres. Tried to mug him. McVeigh comes away. Motlop, ill-fated. Mark taken by Rowan. Top end of the square. Sydney on the attack then. Rowan, a pacey customer with a long kick. He sends it out wide, well weighted. Finds Rose. Now Rose is about 45 metres out. He'll kick from right on the Greek numbers, apparently. Just sets it up actually towards the pocket to Hanbury to take a shot.
Well worked by Rose. Just let Hanbury get that shot a bit closer to goal. Slightly more of an angle, but closer again. Probably was going to test James Rose from that far out. Dan Hanbury, such a skilled player. It's a tough pocket to kick a goal from here, though, especially with the construction site behind him.
24 votes in the Brownlow last season. This one, not his best kick, though. Wide left, out of bounds on the full as we count down to quarter time. Always a sign it's been good footy. It's been a quick quarter.
Absolutely. So much to look at and think about. So the Cats running it out. And Dangerfield yet again. So the numbers continue to grow. Franklin. And that one probably coming off Hawkins. But
he's called a throwing, Lance. Straight back to him.
So Franklin probably seeing what we thought we saw too. Did this come off? I thought it did. Probably. So Swans started brilliantly. Geelong attacking hard and working their way very much back into the match. Ball not
in the back, Geelong.
Oh, Dangerfield.
This is something now, isn't it?
Hold
Absolutely.
there, Lance. Come back on.
I mean, it was all Hanbury, Jack, a bit of Kennedy and Parker early, and it's become all Dangerfield since. So just trying to set it up. Grundy gets to the front spot on Hawkins. Parker, Aaliyah. Very impressive. We've talked about him, just his third game. Ruggles broke the tackle well. Dangerfield again. Guthrie. Clever enough. Jack got into Dangerfield's back. Blitzars, Ruggles, strong hips, gets a kick away, might come off. Mark not quite taking their Murdoch's the left footer, decides to go wide. Good fly early from the front, but not coming for Selwood. And Lloyd to bang it away. Is it going to come back? Not quite.
Play on.
Richards in front.
Play on.
From behind Taylor, Richards did well in a tight situation. Picked up by Naismith. Gave it to Lloyd. Towers taken down. Belatedly kicks it, but not in time. So Dangerfield up to 15 possessions. That was one of the few passages of play he's not figured in. Here's Motlop, short. Guess who? Dangerfield, 16 now to half forward. Interesting half volley there. Made it awkward for McCarthy. Tries to flick it across to Motlop. Aaliyah did well. Jack, Franklin. Now the run comes from Sydney. Hanbury, vacant up ahead. apart from Henderson. He was the last man in the chain for the Cats. Plays it okay. Pushes towards the wing. Wrong foot's Franklin. He's been a good player. The longer the season's gone, the better he's played, Henderson. Kicks inside the forward 50. Aaliyah takes the mark. Very impressive.
Outstanding grab by Aaliyah to read the ball in the air, the flight of the ball, but then to back himself and take the mark. Only in game number 3 of AFL footy. That is a terrific sign for him.
Smith to Parker was a dangerous kick to Jones, in dispute with Enright, and a ball up. Terrific opening turn.
I think players from both teams have got to adjust to something at quarter time, and that is there is not even the normal amount of time to dispose of the ball. Tonight it is just hotter than ever. If you think you're going to have 2 seconds, you're probably going to have 1 second.
So Selwood, Dangerfield again, getting it very, very long. Rampy was good. On the right side for him, clever kick finds Mills, who kicked his first goal in AFL tonight. Just missed one game. Well, you always used to talk about finals footy, Lingy, that would go up that notch. You feel like it's gone up that notch tonight, don't you?
Yep.
In terms of time with the ball. Nottingham probably should have marked it. Dangerfield, no, not quite that time. Ball slips at the back. Hewitt, Hanbury, big numbers for him as well. Towers has been caught once already tonight. Lucky not to go a second time. Back to Hewitt, back to Mills. Touched off the boot.
Heard the umpire. Lonergan did well. Down to Dangerfield, approaching 20. Mackie on the wing around the corner. Brilliant kick onto the chest of Ruggles.
That is 18 possessions for Patrick Dangerfield in the first quarter.
I don't think I've seen a better individual performance. Not only has he got the possessions, he's dragged his team back into this game. Rampy's over the football now, between his legs. Guthrie chops it off, though, taken by Selwood, not to be outdone. Brilliant kick. Enright has marked directly in front and should kick a goal, and if he does, there'll be 2 points the difference. They're irresistible now. It's hard to recognise Geelong from the team that started this game.
Well said, Dan. The tale, not the tale of two halves, the tale of two half of the quarter, if that makes any sense at all. It was all Sydney. They were brilliant in that first half of this first quarter, but Geelong, on the back of Paddy Dangerfield, have dragged themselves back into this game.
That was plight of the man on the siren. He waited. Enright misses right, playing his 100th game on this ground. Geelong have done well. It was all Sydney, but the Cats have come storming back. Patrick Dangerfield just one out of the box. Quarter time, Friday night football. The margin is 7 points. Up against Sam Naismith, playing his second game. He's been pretty good so far, Naismith. Quite often, first hand of the ball. Very tall man. Hopefully the second term is as good as the first. Friday night football rolling on. Terrific night for footy. Bit soggy out there, but no breeze to speak of. Naismith slaps it forward. In quickly off the line was Rowan. Applying the tackle is Dangerfield.
In, Geelong.
He might get a free kick here, or will go to Harry.
Straight up, Geelong free kick, Dangerfield.
Dangerfield, well, just give him one. He's away. Sydney need a can of mace. He drives it down towards half forward, and a good mark is taken there by a hard-running Zach Smith. The mark, not so much. The run was terrific.
And that is why we rave about that bloke so much. I know we carry on a little bit, but as soon as he got the free kick, look, he runs 10 metres, the kick's penetrating. And where Sydney had set up defensively, the kick was able to get over the back to Zach Smith, inside forward 50. If he just kicked from behind the mark, probably just gets to the 50, gets that extra 5 or 6 metres on the kick, gets it to his teammate and gets a shot at goal.
Right behind him. Put off by the Greek, I think. He misses out to the right-hand side, out of bounds on the full.
Wouldn't be the first end, but it was penetrating again from the champ. So the Swans let off the hook slightly, but they've got to extricate themselves out of here. Rampy decides to go the safety way down that line. Smith and Naismith. Tackle by Henderson.
No prior.
We know Danger had a couple of games over the 1,000 metres gain mark, but he's already up to over 400 metres gained already, 414.
Now he's tracking and trekking on world record pace in a few areas, isn't he? And that one close to the line, it's out on the fall.
Hold there, hold there.
So Duncan to bring him back in.
Hold, Kieran.
Geelong having the best of the second half of the opening term. Just setting up about 35 metres from goal. Clark and Alir. Mills, Cockatoo works his way through pretty cleverly. Back to Guthrie. Guthrie goes back to Blitzarves. Blitzarves to Duncan. Duncan kicks to a hot spot about 20 metres out from goal. Naismith pushed out by Smith, but Smith takes a very good mark.
Certainly looked like a push out, Bruce.
Yep.
Just to the naked eye then. Naismith asking the same
10
thing.
metres, guys.
There it is, Zach Smith. Oh, just leant on him.
Yep.
Stay
The
clear,
momentum
please.
is what made it look a bit
15
more obvious
gone.
than what it was. It's just clever use of the body. No real hands in the back. Important grab. He didn't kick well before, Zach Smith. You'd think he'd kick it from here.
Kicked some handy goals this year for the Cats. And a good pickup, and Geelong closed the gap to within a point.
Thanks, fellas.
That's better. A point the difference then. Naismith up high, taps it down. Selwood wriggles free. This is the target. Dangerfield goes after it though. Makes amends, pushed in the back. Doesn't count as two.
Back, Kieran. Dangerfield.
Maybe it does. He gets the free just inside the centre square. Away he goes. Bit of daring if you don't mind. Penetrating kick deep. Over the top comes Jones, thumps it away. McCarthy goes after it. Grundy taken high. No free kick. Clark, slow hand pass. Not so slow. Motlop whips a hand pass to Kolodjasny. Missed Guthrie. Picked up a defence by Lloyd. Gave it to Kennedy. Kennedy kicks it up towards the wing. Oh, brilliantly done, Rowan. Stifled the hand pass from Lonigan. And now he shins it across the boundary. But it was out. Or was it? No, it's going to be a free. Enright. Well, gives him his own medicine, plays on immediately, kicks it down towards half forward, arriving quickly Menzel, slips a hand pass away. Oh, brilliant tackle by Rampy. Wonderful, wonderful. The arm came out, and that arm has taken down better men than Rampy, or so we thought, but Rampy is the best we've ever seen.
He's a good defender, Dane Rampy. One-on-one defender, he's Sydney's best. Just plays on all sorts of players, tall, small, great tackle.
Parker got it from Kennedy, who got it from Towers. They spread it to Lloyd. Lloyd's kick to Richards at centre half forward. Teddy goes early. Geelong with the numbers. Mackey's handball a little sloppy, but Duncan's okay. And Geelong bring it out a little too easily. Motlop back to Duncan. Duncan running very, very hard. Centre half forward, not a very good kick. Grundy front spot. Hawkins was pretty good. Ball squeezes out the back. Smith has been impressive. Heard the uppies call. Clark dropping it down. Cockatoo getting involved. Kennedy gets it back to Smith on the wrong side for him. So he says, back to you, Rampy. Danger. Franklin goes. Takes the mark. Little give. And now on the burst, the Swans.
Hanbury got it from Mitchell. Down towards half forward. Papley in front. Had it thumped away. Or was it Jack? It was Jack. Hand pass comes across to Enright. Ball goes down towards half forward. Selwood just prods it. Cockatoo runs to the 50 and takes the mark.
2 metres. Hold there.
Dangerfield at 20 possessions now. As we count his possessions, it's he kicks a short one to Rampy, who, like a soccer goalie, went across and covered it. Now it's Jack. Rowan gets away, beats his second man, kicks it down towards half forward. Miss kicks it though. Mark is taken by Murdoch. Back come the Cats. This is Mackey.
Gee, they don't have a forward line at all at the moment, Sydney do. They Mackey's kicked to centre wing. Good fly in the front, I think, from Henderson it was. Ball getting back to Kolodjasny. Kolodjasny setting up to about 25 metres out. Strong attack by Menzel. Grundy's handball squeezing out. Lang was very good. Jones, hot footy here. Smith getting involved. Grundy, little give. Put Naismith under pressure. Mitchell in heavy, heavy traffic. Decides to bang it out. He wants the ball to get as far away as possible so they can catch their breath and buy a bit of time. Taylor back to Blitzarves. Blitzarves back to Enright. No one forward of this for Sydney. They haven't been for 5 minutes. Little danger, but okay. Henderson. Oh, had it a long, long time.
Towers, well done, applied the tackle. Picks up the footy, runs to right half forward, pulls it back towards the middle. No one behind this pair. Thumped away by Blixarves. Taken by Harry Taylor. Nicely done. Lonigan, Murdoch, the dangerous pass, at least momentarily.
If this seems fast-paced, it certainly is. There have been no boundary throw-ins, only one ball up, and we're 7 minutes into this first quarter. Paddy Dangerfield continues his stellar form this game, but this ball is just flying up and down.
From behind, the mark is taken by Hawkins at the second attempt. He launched himself initially, pulls it back. Clark hit in the face by a half volley. Well done by Aaliyah, knocked it out of there, but he's hurt. Down went Kennedy. Chance for Hawkins, back comes Kennedy. Wins a hard footy, gets it to Parker. Parker thumps it towards midfield. Ruggles is taken high. Taylor wants to go. Takes advantage. Right in the middle of Simmons Stadium. Kicks it down towards half forward. Hewitt went back with courage. Bartel with skill. Squirts a kick down towards the pocket. Grundy under pressure. Pulls it back. In goes Motlop. Lang. Close quarters to Motlop. He took a look first. Will it get there in time? Selwood. Brilliant defence down there. Just slapping that ball away. Naismith finishes up with Taylor. Back towards full forward. And Menzel over the top has taken the mark. 20 metres out.
Oh, great call, Dennis. You can take a breath now. That was some unbelievably hot footy. First of all, Aaliyah getting injured there. Cockatoo probably needed to go at the footy more rather than try and do the spin move, but just a hot footy everywhere. We've said it all night. This to settle the Cats down. Dan Menzel, wow, what a game.
Going at his second. But he kicks Crawley. So the lead changes.
Ready to go again, mate?
Well, this is the courage, as you see. Joel Selwood running back with the flight. He actually collected Zach Smith in the contest there as well. But this is just a hard footy to be winning at the moment.
Something tells me Jude Bolton would love to be out there right now, in amongst this.
And I think the bloke standing next to me, right, Guthrie, about ball up. Yeah, Selwood's been very good. Everyone has been overshadowed by one man, though. I mean, it's been a remarkable piece of work.
Holding, Sydney, by the arm. Cullen.
So it's Sinclair's free kick.
Off. Your free kick.
Back to Sinclair. So Sydney just need to regroup a bit here. They led 26-6 in the opening term. They've been asked a couple of big questions since then, and Geelong have got back the lead. Just haven't been able to keep anyone in the forward line for a long time. Jones gets it from Smith, and now it's a crowded forward line, and it's slow movement.
50 metres.
Oh, gee, this helps. This helps a lot.
East-west.
Second one against Geelong tonight.
You heard the umpire say it, east-west.
Just here. Right out the 10.
Means the player's got to be going just directly across the ground on the mark. Can't be trying to cut the angle. We'll have another look at that one soon. But this is a nice little bonus for Sydney if Jones can go back and slot it.
Doesn't have a whole heap of shots on goal. Kicked a couple this year. Massive kick. Needing a steadier. Has he got it? He has.
Watch Jimmy Bartel on the mark. Yeah, that's a good call by the umpire. Just cutting that angle a little bit. It's the new rule that came in over the off-season. Got to be going east-west. Can't cut that angle at all.
Smith knocks it down. Duncan inadvertently soccers in the wrong direction. Richards comes up. Dangerfield was waiting. Rose at close quarters. Papley, Hanbury, and Bartel, the offender just moments ago. Miscues completely. With the outside of the bit, it runs towards the boundary. High on Cockatoo, Aaliyah. Cockatoo gets the free kick. That last goal, incidentally, Jones, Sydney's first score in 25 minutes. There's Cockatoo, hard against the boundary line, sends it long inside the forward 50. In from the side was Mills, knocking it forward was Henderson. In the opposite direction, McVeigh. Jones, delicate little soccer, picked up by Motlop. He fires it back inside the 50. Towers, terrific mark.
Was a good mark against the flow. Seen so many acts of courage tonight. The belt away from Kolodjasny. Well done, Rampy. Back to Towers, only as far as Smith. He's the best big man on the ground by a long way. And goes short. Good kick to Motlop. Motlop, can he create something here? Kicks to the goal square. Cockatoo, arm being held. Good mark. Not paid. I reckon he might have been a bit stiff that time. Towers, under pressure. McCarthy keeps it in, tries to get it back to Hawkins. Hawkins gets it back to Guthrie. Guthrie turning, twisting, and getting the ball back to the goal square. Aliir. Gee, Aliir's been impressive. Gets it to Jones and they're out.
Hannebery runs the other side wing then. Brilliant short pass. Well, Papley didn't take it the first time. Slapped away by Taylor. Taken by Motlop, runs to 45. Harmless kick, though, marked by Rampy. What a good defender he's become. Comes out to Hewitt at right half-back.
I think that Cockatoo mark might have been a reversal of the one in the first quarter where he didn't have the first grab at it. Looked like he'd taken that one. Let's call it square, shall we?
Sydney by a point. Big leap at the back by Rowan.
Hold there, Patrick.
Wonderful spring, wonderful judgment. Barely used a player there. He sends it forward from just behind the wing. Papley too small. Franklin, who was looking on, gets the crumb, dragged down across to Kennedy, quickly to Sinclair. Sinclair kicks to the pocket, runs on and goes out of bounds. Kennedy, by his lofty standards, quiet tonight, just 9 possessions.
He can build, can't he, Dennis? But he needs to. They all do. They've been slaughtered, really, by the Dangerfield. After they started so well. Sinclair's tap good. Hannebery puts the tackle on Ruggles. And the ball up. Pretty good response by Sydney in the last 5-6 minutes here, though.
Yep.
I mean, Geelong threatened really to blow them away at the start of this quarter on the back of what they did at the end of the first quarter. Sinclair half winning it. Enright sweeping wide as he can. Guthrie onto it. Getting it wider. Mackie, Guthrie. Dicing a little with danger. They did well. Ruggles' kick to a good spot and the ball will be thrown in.
And there's Paddy Dangerfield. The Cats champ. He deserves the rest. He's had 21 disposals. Dan Hannebery's the one who's just got rolling a little bit again. Mark Blitzarves has had the job on Hannebery since quarter time. And Hannebery up to 14 possessions now. So continuing to work as hard as he always does.
As if on cue, Hannebery grabs the footy, hooks it back towards centre half forward. Storming up Enright, gets a timely fist on it, goes to Jones, confronted by McCarthy. Oh, what a wonderful tackle. Oh, gee, umpire. I reckon he took him on.
Who's up?
You've got to reward that, I would have thought. Blitzarves taps it down. Guthrie, high up and under. Aliir trying to chest mark it, rolls behind, picked up by Smith, gives it to Jones. Where's Brown? Rolls out the back, there isn't one. McCarthy's got the football, missed it with the boot. It's going to be a free kick to Sydney. That was a good tackle by Smith, quality player.
Stay clear.
At centre half back.
Good signs by the Swans. Their intensity's up again, I reckon. Hewitt, short, Parker. Parker has to arch his back, but he does break the tackle. That's a beautiful kick. Rowan's got this distance, I would think, wouldn't you?
Yep, absolutely. He's right on probably the wettest, soggiest patch of the ground. So see if that affects his ability to kick the distance with the planting foot. But he can certainly get the journey from here. It's a beautiful kick of the ball.
Gets close to the man on the mark and gives it a little hook. So never looked completely comfortable. And I think that reflects what you said about that part of the ground, Cam. So Swans by 2 points.
They've sorted out their front half structure, though. They've got much better structure inside forward 50. They reset after that first few forays forward where Geelong had so many numbers back.
Bolts early on in this second quarter. Even Buddy Franklin was getting caught right up the ground, wasn't he? So they completely lost everything.
Yeah, they were up around the stoppages. They only had one man inside forward 50 on about 3 players. So it was never going to come back out.
There's Mackie. Sydney lead by 2 points, despite a virtuoso performance from Dangerfield, and that's the good news for the Swans. Ball rolls towards the boundary. Aliir picks it up, smothered off the boot by Lonergan. Ricochets across towards Franklin. Brilliantly done, got it to Towers. Still a live footy inside the forward 50. Parker. Geelong careful around him. Taylor a quick kick to midfield. Brilliant gather by Menzel. Guthrie brushes aside McVeigh, nobody to kick to. Now it's a problem for Menzel. High ball going back with courage and doing brilliantly. Rampy sung his praises all night.
Interference, Sydney.
He's really developed into something, Rampy. Medium size who plays tall. Here's Grundy.
He certainly does, Dan. It's a little bit the flip side of what Jude was just talking about for Sydney. Geelong have lost a little bit of their forward structure. Sydney have now got that spare and it's having an influence.
Trying to work their way out of defence, will probably do so. Towers turning, looking. Oh, Towers, well, he gets away with it. Jacks kicks a beauty. They might be in here. Papley banging for goal and getting it home from a long way out.
Some nervous moments here for Dean Towers. But credit to him, he stayed strong. He didn't just cough the ball up and get the holding the ball against him. Gave the handball off. And, wow, this is a sign of a very good football team. Sydney being able to shift the entire momentum of the game within the quarter. Not waiting for a break, not waiting for the coach to fix things up. They've done it out in the ground.
Kieran Jack storms out of the middle this time, kicks it down towards half forward. The target was Franklin. It runs on. Kolodjasny goes back. Franklin with strength jars the ball loose. It goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Well, you get the feeling that Patrick Dangerfield had to cool off. Magnificent opening term, 18 possessions. He's taking a break. He might be back on just now, but we've got a boundary throw in the pocket. And Sydney doing very nicely. Thank you very much, Mitchell.
Touch, play on.
Lloyd's kick was smothered. Ricochets towards Smith. Picked up by Hewitt. It was taken high. Careless tackle by Cockatoo.
Mark's here.
And Hewitt
Right here.
will shoot a goal from about 30 metres out directly in front. This has been something by the Swans.
Thank you. Mark's right here. Thank you.
No doubting that one. As high as they come. And Sydney, as we said,
15
a
gone.
great response by a high-quality football team. And I've loved what Hewitt's done this year. He's come in and had a real impact in a mature team. It's been terrific.
Should kick it. Does kick it.
So, Lingy, 24 goals between Hewitt and Papley so far this season, the first-year players.
Just really love the way that they've been able to come in, straight away have an impact. Their pressure is really good. But as you said, Bruce, they're kicking goals. That's what you need to do as a small forward. Still stay dangerous, even if you're in that team, to put high pressure on.
And that's a big question mark about Sydney. Who kicks the goals other than Buddy? And we know Parker does a bit, but they've done well. Cockatoo, that's dropping the footy. Oh, no. Enright kicks the ball inside the 50. Oh, again, Rampy, so courageous.
And there's great contact. Paid the 50. That's all right, paid the 50.
Geez, a good young player. I mean, I say young, he's mature age, I know, Rampy. He hasn't missed a game for such a long time. He's played 87 out of 89 possible when he started. Gee.
Courageous Rampy, he's a good player. That's just so silly from Mitch Clark, giving away another inside 50 to Sydney.
Franklin, the big fly. Kennedy searching for a Dangerfield first man there, and then holds up a couple to bring down the big ball. He's a hard ball to get down.
They're putting some work into him around the stoppages as well. Josh Kennedy's gone to Patrick Dangerfield, limited him to 3 disposals this quarter, really putting some work into him.
Come this way.
Another number 24 right there on the boundary. Loving the work of Rampy, I'm sure, at the moment. The ball spills out of bounds. It'll be tossed in. Jack, who started so well, has drifted a little bit out of the game in this second term. The margin is 14 points. Rival coaches.
Play on.
Well, a grapple. No one touched it. Lloyd behind. Kicks it about 20 metres. Bartell feeling lucky. Ruggles not so lucky. Blitzards kicks it about 10 metres. Mitchell tackled by Smith. Franklin a half chance. Back comes Smith, met solidly. And I think this will be a ball up. 55 metres out. 3.5 minutes out from half time. And Geelong needing the next goal.
Exactly. Back this way.
So Blitzards that third man. Gee, that was so well done. Motlop's kick. Aaliyah coming back to sort of help Rampy. Rampy's been dominant, hasn't he?
Absolutely huge impact in the second half of this second quarter in particular. Rampy's the one who's settled this whole Sydney team down. Hanbury's got going, and Mitchell has been good around the stoppages, but Rampy's the one who's kept their structure in place, taking those intercept marks.
Mills to a pack, Rowan the big fly. Zach Smith back to Joel Selwood. Well, no, very, very good kick actually to Bartel. And then Bartel, not a good handball, but Motlop okay. Mackie got the kick away, but not good. And Mills takes the mark. You think of the 4 rookies playing for Sydney tonight. Mills, Aaliyah, Hewitt and Papley all making good contributions, aren't they? 4 first-year players.
50, there it is, hold.
And Callum Mills, really similar to Dane Rampy, of course, at different stages of their career, but read the ball so well and just keep that defensive shape in place and able to just keep repelling the ball time and time again. And Geelong now, they've lost a bit of that structure.
Hanbury got it from Parker, kicks it just beyond the wing. Henderson takes the mark. Short to Taylor. Just over 2 minutes till half-time. Harry Taylor looking long, sends it just over the wing. Hawkins launches himself, in effect spoiled Blixarves. Motlop found a way through, not quite. Brilliant tackle by Mitchell, a lunging, despairing tackle. McVeigh backs up Guthrie. Rampy knocking up possessions. Kicks it down towards half forward. Henderson launches himself, didn't take it. Now he's under pressure. Head down Henderson, tackled by Hanbury. Hanbury drags him to the ground. He's trying, no he's not, according to the umpire who had a perfect view. You can be stiff sometimes, they're in the wrong spot. If you got the footy, Hanbury steals it away like a cat burglar and sends it down towards full forward. Wrong team I know, here's Harry.
She ran in front of the mark there, but Taylor was good. He filled the spot because Franklin almost had a one-on-one, didn't he?
Hold there.
Yep.
Play on.
So important Geelong don't concede another one here. I mean, it's manageable at the moment. But Sydney at the moment, with all the momentum going into half-time, unless the Cats can pinch one here.
And Geelong as a team would have felt like they've played some really good footy at times in this game. As you said, Bruce, they're now facing a 2-goal deficit going into half-time. They'd hate for that to be a 3-goal one. It would certainly deflate this team.
Gee, Sydney did well there. A couple of good tackles, but they spun out of them. Bartel belts the ball away. A little dangerous now. Mitchell over the top. Big opportunity here. Parker's a pretty good kick. That one he gives a hook. And Richards has got it. Teddy in the pocket, eh?
Mark's right here. 10. That's your angle. Come back here, please.
Playing as a defensive forward tonight.
Forward.
He's had a difficult year, the veteran.
Play on!
Could he jag one from here? No. Parker just didn't quite strike it, did he? It was there. So what a fantastic opening half. The big problem for Geelong, unless Dangerfield's getting 18 disposals in the quarter, they're in trouble.
Ruggles to himself and then kicks to half-back, and Selwood takes the mark. So they've more than doubled their lead since quarter time, Sydney. For all the hullabaloo about everything we've seen in this game so far, they've shown a lot of grit and determination. Geelong were coming, and they simply blocked them.
And Sydney have done a great job to slow that man down. He was on world record pace at quarter time, but it's a challenge that now goes to the other Geelong midfielders. It can't just be all up to one man, Patrick Dangerfield, to dominate a quarter. If he's being well held, somebody else needs to stand up in that middle part of the ground.
Mitchell did well in a tight situation. There's Dangerfield to Guthrie. Ball spills. Half-time. What a bruising, entertaining affair it's been. Friday night football at its best. The Sydney Swans have come to play, and it's the hometown Geelong Cats that are struggling to stay in touch. And that's, I think, in the light of their superstar Patrick Dangerfield putting on what we described as a virtuoso performance. Half-time, it's Sydney by 15 points. Second half. The opening bounce. Naismith flicks it down behind, arriving quickly Selwood. Fossicks it out. Down goes Dangerfield. Hewitt did well. Bartel did better. Motlop wide. Mackie, his 15th possession, down towards half forward. Ball runs free. Stumbling over at Hawkins. Going back is Grundy. Couldn't find a way through. Down goes Smith. Ball up.
Important for Sydney, I reckon, Lingy, that they stay firm here. We saw last night Port Adelaide get blown away at the start of the third quarter by the Hawks.
And straight away we see centre clearance. It's going to be the important thing in this second half. Get the ball forward, trap it in there. Both teams been able to score okay when they've gone inside forward 50.
Parker, good job. McVeigh got it from Hewitt. Hooking the ball back. Henderson, clever touch. Enright, getting so close to the All Games record to Taylor. Doesn't get a lot on it, Taylor, and Smith read it best off the mark and takes the mark. Smith spreading the ball wide to Rampy. Talked so much about him in the first half. He has used the ball well so far tonight. Uncertain here, and he doesn't strike that at all well. He might get away with it, though. And a boundary throw in down the line. Franklin disappointed there. He was on the burst, on the lead. Rampy didn't spot him first up and then went the safety way.
Swans by 15. Boundary throw in. Zach Smith, Sam Naismith. Smith, the best ruckman on the ground, but Naismith has done okay. In front, Mitchell running out of space. Very high kick made for defenders. Lonergan over the top of Franklin. Ball ricochets back to him. Now he's in trouble. Towers is tackled by Guthrie. Blixarves, hurried kick in front, Menzel, and he did well. Came at the footy aggressively. Looking down towards half forward. Doubling back is Clark. Found the tempo very hard to adjust to tonight. Tough coming into this game after a long break. Rampy wins a hard ball. Aaliyah a short pass. Hanbury, 19 possessions now. Mitchell. Hanbury, they stay off him. Do that at your peril. Richards gets it across to Kennedy. Long kick, will it bounce through? Just the wrong side of the post. Opportunistic work by Kennedy. Spotted a chance and almost took it.
And it feels like Dane Rampy's almost the forward there, flying for that ball. He's backing himself so much in the air. And from that contest, Sydney were able to find Hanbury through the corridor and just transfer the ball so easily down the ground.
Taylor doesn't strike it particularly well. They've been going straight down the centre. Naismith, that was clever. Not 15, Richards. Richards gets it back to Mitchell. Mitchell buys some time cleverly. Gets the hook to fall forward. And bouncing through for behind. So Swans peppering a couple there.
And it's Tom Mitchell at times, almost rotating with Josh Kennedy around the stoppages, who's doing the job on Patrick Dangerfield. The two of them are ganging up on him, making sure they contain the Cat Star. And Mitchell now up to 20 disposals himself, so really worked his way into the game, winning the hard contested footy.
Clark put Guthrie under pressure, stolen by Richards to Mills, pumps it back inside that forward 50. Kolodjasny reaches over the top. This is Mackey. Mackey comes out wide, half volleyed there by Motlop, but he missed the ball. It ran on. Taken by Clark, swings it down towards half forward. Grundy, the veteran, thumps it away. Mitchell once more, imposing himself on the game. Hanbury, ditto, gives it to Parker. Full-chested, a little kick towards half forward. Good enough. Kennedy, well, touched off the boot there by Enright. Grabbed by Lloyd, and Lloyd kicks a goal.
Just watch this play out here. This is Sydney's creativity in close, but poor defensive work. Steve Motlop runs to Aaliyah, who was already covered by Mitch Clark, which just allowed Sydney to have free players forward of the ball, transferred the ball down, and that's what led to the Lloyd goal. Just poor defensive decision-making around that bunch of quick hands from the Swans.
Naismith doing pretty well here. Towers good. Back to Lloyd, who kicked the goal. So 8 different goal scorers tonight for the Swans in their 8 goals. Richards. And getting into him, Mackey. Good tackle. No, not rewarded for Selwood. Hewitt, little toe poke. Again, no free kick. Taylor, wrapped up by Kennedy. Ball squeezing, not quite out. Kolodjasny, Rowan over the top of him. Richards trying to get it out the back to Mitchell. Cat's under pressure. Dangerfield, terrific. Wins the free kick. Does he? Yes, he does. It required a strong man deep in defence, and they got one.
Lang has to stretch, takes the mark. He's at left half back. Sends it to the wing. Selwood favoured by the kick. Couldn't hang on though. Fell at his feet. Kennedy coming strongly. Blixarves shuttles it forward. Now that's deliberate. I think he was trying to get it to Selwood, if anything, and Selwood was unhappy with his effort.
I agree with you. Just trying to get it on to Joel Selwood there. Didn't have his hands free to handball it. Got to take into account the amount of pressure the players are under when paying those free kicks. They're not infallible, these players. When they've got opposition hanging off them, they are going to make mistakes and not perfectly hit a target. I love the rule, but it frustrates me, some of the interpretations, I'm sure, along with the fans.
Henderson drives it down towards half forward, thumped out of bounds by Smith, and there's the anomaly. Right there, boundary throw in, but they've been consistent with that, the umpires, all season long as well. If you punch it out of bounds in the act of spoiling, it's okay. Hasn't been called so far. Naismith wins it down. Parker getting into the game. So too Kennedy. That spells disaster for the Cats if they work out. That towards half forward. Lonergan dropped the mark. Franklin could have been held without it. Diving in Lonergan. In trouble is Rowan. Hanging on for grim death is Mackie. Heard the umpire, so Mackie wins a free kick. Huge 5 minutes coming up. Well, the remainder of the quarter. But the first 5 they've got to deal with Geelong. Thumped away by Grundy, taken by Kennedy. Through the football, play on's the call. Bartel drives it inside the forward 50. Clark low down, spilt it, did he? Yes, it came back to him. He wishes it hadn't. D'Elia's got him. In slides Mills, and we get a ball up. We'll watch this again. He's claiming he marked it.
Good call by the ump.
Just doesn't quite have his touch at the moment, Mitch Clark. Really struggling to impact this game. First game back at AFL level for so long. I think it was round 9 last year. Big absence.
Hewitt, good attack. Rowan pushed off by Mackie. And that ball not quite out. Bartel not sure if it's coming out. Hewitt just gets a little one. High tackle, free kick going to Duncan. So coming back to Duncan. He's had a solid game, Duncan. Goes short, finds a target. Enright's got it, wanted to give off, and then quickly goes to the pocket. Clark, Aliir, Menzel, twisting and turning, and boundary thrown, touched off the boot. Cats pressing here.
Haven't scored for 25 minutes now, the Cats. Boundary throw in, good spot for them. Blixarves tries to hook it behind. Towers anxious to clear the zone, kicks it directly to Enright, who lines up. Or is it Duncan? It's Enright. He's put it through. Quick to celebrate with Duncan.
Here we go. Set up.
Just a quick kick there by Towers. You really need to clear outside the 50 if you're going to throw it on the boot like that. Straight to Enright. A terrific finish from the Cats champ, as you said earlier, Bruce, closing in on the game's record holder for the Cats. He's up to 323.
Hold the ball.
Fair call.
Sydney.
Yes.
Hold there.
Enright, 100th game here, as Dennis mentioned earlier, 17th goal at the ground.
Move it on. Play on.
So Parker having a terrific season and a very good night. Grundy. So let's see if Geelong can build from that. Mills, well, they've got a chance here. Hawkins, gee, Mills did well there. Got the big ball down. That's not easy to do. Grundy looking for Kennedy's run. Gets to Lloyd. Lloyd was the goal scorer in this quarter. High ball. Franklin with a chance here. Pushed out, but he did well. Jack tucks it under the arm. And yes, rolls it home. Charlotte's going to be pleased with that one.
Here's the brilliant tackle from Callum Mills. 28 kilos, the difference there between those two men, but Mills was not going to let go. And Kieran Jack, classy finish. Mills still without a NAB Rising Star nomination. I know Sydney fans don't like that. He's on his way to one tonight.
Sinclair got it from Hanbury to McVeigh, kicks it down towards half forward. Ruggles chops it off, kicks it back towards the half forward line for his side. Gutsy mark by Menzel. The most dangerous forward, takes on the man on the mark initially, only to feed the Dangerfield. Dangerfield is wide of the mark and through for a minor score. Well played by Menzel, knew what he was doing there, but Dangerfield's kick didn't miss by much. McVeigh to bring it in. But they're off the pace now by 22 points, Geelong. And the hometown crowd trying to rally their team. McVeigh drives it outside the defensive 50.
Geelong with all the numbers, but they couldn't. Hanbury, Rose. Quite his match, slips the ball out, coughs it up. Menzel, Duncan, good-looking kick. Free kick. No, not a free kick. Gee, Hawkins dragged down Mitchell with some time. Cat fans don't like it. Grundy off the step. Not a great-looking kick. Franklin, Parker, the Flyers. Cats with the numbers. Dangerfield couldn't quite burst through. Rose worried out of by Kolodjasny. Parker strong through the hips. Did so well in heavy traffic. Swings a dangerous ball. Not a good kick. Selwood lurking. Terrific tackle. Holding the ball up in.
Incorrect disposal. Took the tackle on.
McVeigh with a free kick, right half back. Parker, he's really starting to bob up now. Murdoch is a player for Geelong who needs to lift. He's there for his pace and run. Well, he's given neither. The ball goes out of bounds. Crowd won't deliberate. It'll be tossed in.
Well, that's just a missed kick. There's the free kick. The left arm was round Tom Hawkins. And I agree, that's holding the footy. Good tackle by Jared McVeigh on the Cat skipper. Outstanding. I just feel like the last couple of minutes, intensity's gone up a notch even again. Can Sydney weather it, or are Geelong going to get on a little run?
McVeigh hammers it at Kennedy. Kennedy equal to it, kicks it down towards half forward. Papley, can he get free? Had a long time, comes to Franklin, quick hands that time. Hewitt, well, that was a clever kick between two Cats. Missed down there by Harry Taylor. Tried again, wanting to free. Richards across towards Lloyd, brilliant. And the goals open up for the left footer.
Right on, Andrew. Thanks, mate.
One thing I've loved tonight with Sydney is their strength. Whenever they're tackled, they are still able to get an effective possession away, whether by hand or by
15
foot,
gone!
which means they're just able to release teammates then into space. When Geelong have thought they've had them wrapped up, well, this would be a big goal for the Swans.
Around it comes. Franklin. Kick is on the way. Hasn't got the distance. Well, just helped across the line by Smith. Just the one goal for Buddy tonight. Leads the Coleman. Now it's at 53. Josh Kennedy will play on Sunday.
Just concerns for Geelong down here with Corey Enright, with just the left hip issue. He's just in a bit of discomfort.
So Dangerfield, well-weighted kick. Here is Murdoch, who's had a quiet night.
And they're coming up for possession number 4, Jordan Murdoch. Dennis is right. He's in the team for that speed, but got to find the footy and impact the play a bit more.
Cockatoo. So Cockatoo measures that kick to about 35 metres. Oh, big fly coming from Menzel on the up. Good stuff by Newells. And then Lloyd doesn't get it far. Bartel, Cockatoo. Well done. Selwood, Kennedy and Selwood. That's a great duel out of bounds.
Selwood's got every reason to be really disappointed in Cockatoo. The first option was the hand pass.
You're right, Dennis. Absolutely right. Sometimes it's just doing the simple things well. Good fly by Menzel, but Cockatoo had to just give the handball straight away. Don't try and beat 2 or 3 tacklers. Give the handball, then let Selwood spot up with a kick. In big games, tight games, the team that does the most basic things well, time and time again, will often win the game.
Bartel taken down. Cockatoo slams it to centre half forward. There is Murdoch. Ball squeezes out. Smith gets a bit on it. It's up and high. Guthrie, eyes for the ball. Well done, Sinclair. Bartel, Kennedy was good not to give a free kick away. Lingy, you mentioned 3-4 minutes ago how the pressure's gone up. This is the one you were talking about for Selwood. Yeah.
That's the one. Just tried to take on a few tacklers before he finally gave the tackle to the handball to Selwood, but by then it was covered.
Just this next goal's massive, isn't it? One way or the other. I mean, Sydney just break the game open if they get it. Geelong back in strongly if they get it.
Kolodjasny, Ruggles, now Mackie, an experienced hands. Mackie kicks inside the forward 50. Well played by Grundy at the back. And Rampy, oblivious to that good work. So much courage, comes back, takes the mark, gives it to Mills. An inspirational tackle about 4 minutes ago, set up a goal. And right now, Geelong just clinging in this game. Kennedy comes to Jack. The margin is 23 points. Bearing in mind, Geelong have only 6 goals. Or is it 5, Bruce? 6 or 5? I can't.
6.
There you go. Can't read it. Ball goes towards the outer side, sliding in. The mark is taken by Franklin. Wants to go immediately. Brilliant kick. And Richards takes the mark about 40 metres out directly in front.
Outstanding footy by the Swans. Ball movement good. Buddy Franklin just getting that break and then just swung straight away around. Again, it came from Dane Rampy, an intercept mark about 40 seconds earlier. He's having a brilliant night of football, Dane Rampy down back, influencing the play every time he goes near it.
Teddy Richards has 1 goal this season. Has he got 2? He has multiple goals the first time since 2008 for that man.
Good finish. They're a great side when Franklin's up the ground and delivering like that, as well as when he's kicking goals, aren't they?
Yeah, he goes okay in both
Everywhere.
those areas, Bruce. You're absolutely right. Love Sydney's defensive work as well, not just their scoring ability. Geelong average 103 points a game, only 38 on the scoreboard so far.
Clark's kick cut off by Aaliyah.
Getting all the facets of the game right, the Swans. The Cats now simply got to respond.
Yep,
Got to
for
find
sure.
a way.
Got to start hitting that scoreboard. That was the question Dennis asked at half-time. I mean, where are the goals going to come from? So Towers kicked to centre wing. Oh, the good mark by Taylor. Haven't been beaten at home this year, the Cats. Built a remarkable record here since 2007. That incredible year. Blitzers. Oh, he's gone. Gee.
Holding the ball, Sydney, illegal disposal.
So Towers.
Now it's just starting to play with their heads a little bit, that pressure that Sydney have brought.
Yeah, because he had options around him, didn't he?
It's the perceived pressure. You just feel like you're going to get tackled.
Gee.
They're a chance now, though. They've got to make the most of this turnover.
Towers, so that is so sloppy, isn't it, coming out? Can he make up for it here? Getting back Bartel, a good one-hander from Jimmy. Turning back the clock.
That's a double blow there for Dean Towers. He's the one who kicked the ball straight back to Mitch Duncan. And then just rubbed it in a little bit by Bartel taking a mark on him. That's where you want to get a shovel and dig yourself a little hole in the footy field. If you've made a couple of blues like that, it's a lonely place out there.
Talked about Enright's 100th game here. This is Bartel's 98th at Cardinia Park. He's played 298, so 200 elsewhere. He's kicked 85 goals here. And he's normally a good shot. He's kicked some famous shots after the siren in the past. And hitting the post. He's had a famous point or two. That's not one of them, but Geelong stuck, aren't they? They're stuck at the moment. 4.5 goals behind.
Here's Jones. He's kicked the goal tonight. This time at the opposite end of the ground. Sends it outside the defensive 50. Hewitt was up. Papley. Nicely done. Franklin. Papley runs again. Kicks it around the other side. Rowan. Wonderful acceleration. Got a step on Taylor. And that's all it took. So Rowan. Outstanding by Sydney tonight so far. Fast start, pulled back, and found the wherewithal to go again, as Rowan does here. Kicks it long, turns the defence around. Some holding on behind. Panic. Duncan grabbed Parker, and Parker will kick a goal from 10 metres out.
And didn't need to do it, Dennis.
No.
Geelong had all the numbers down there.
Out of 10.
Just, yeah, clear free kick. Too high. He had all the support. You can see the 3 Geelong players on the right of your screen. Panic.
Well, I think Duncan thought that he was Warwick Kappa. Parker would be pleased. Kicks the goal.
Their midfield collectively has been very good, hasn't it? I mean, one man stood out for Geelong in the first quarter, but Sydney collectively have had the best of it.
Yeah, Hanbury, Mitchell, that man there, Luke Parker, been excellent. Josh Kennedy's worked his way into the game. Not a huge night possession-wise for him, but he's had an influence still.
Mitchell got a high one.
High contact, Sydney.
Sydney. Time back on.
Winning everything at the moment, the Swans. This has been a fantastic display. Still a long way to go.
Play on.
Geelong playing at home. We'll still fancy their chances. Their last quarters have been outstanding all year. Ruggles, Enright, little injury concern for him. Lonigan, Motlop hasn't been able to hit that scoreboard. McCarthy the same. So Geelong need a lift everywhere. McCarthy, good kick down that line. Bartel, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Play on. Duncan belting the ball forward. He'd like a big play here to get back what happened a moment ago. Ball squeezing towards the line, Smith. Well, it was hard to pick that for Smith. I mean,
Very well umpired. If anything, that was probably Tom Mitchell's free kick.
Reckon.
But just let it go. Said you were both holding. Play on. Well umpired.
34 points the margin. Swans in front. Boundary throw in right on the 50.
Play on.
Smith flicks it down behind. Parker head down, only as far as Mitchell. Now Hanbury tries to find a way through. Smith over it, gets boot to ball, effective enough. Ruggles slips a hand pass away. McCarthy under pressure. Dangerfield splits the difference, just kicks it inside the forward 50. But the mark has been taken by Jones.
Gee, they've contained Dangerfield well. Only 8 possessions now since quarter time.
Clear out, thank
And each
you.
one of those since quarter time have felt like they've been under enormous pressure. That one there being tackled as he kicked it, created the turnover. They've adjusted all of their midfield setup so well within the game.
Gee, Mitchell probably a little stiff,
Right,
but
bend off.
here he is again, Dangerfield.
Well, then. Okay.
No, it's going to
Good.
Ruggles. So Ruggles to
Ruggles.
set it forward. So touch off the boot. Hanbury, clever. Jack. Hewitt was flat-footed, but he did well. Gee, Hanbury put Jack under the pump. Jack to Hewitt. Hewitt, little give to Mills. Mills decides to buy some time with a high ball, and Lonergan takes a comfortable mark. So a bit sloppy there by the Swans, coming out the back. Lonergan's kick wide, look good off the boot. Strong mark. Terrific mark taken by McCarthy. Cats desperate for a goal here.
He's played okay, McCarthy, when he's been on the ground. Searching kick. Clark's in front, edged under it. Bartel slaps it towards goal. Not knowing who was getting close there, Jones plays the percentages and concedes a behind. And they can afford to do that. They lead by 33. Approaching three-quarter time on Friday Night Football. McBader himself to the outer side. Harry Taylor with a judgment, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Mackie knocks it to his own advantage. Enright, a hurried kick inside the forward 50. Well, on the line, the mark is taken by Murdoch. Now, he's a long kick.
Shane, blood rule. Sydney.
Hold the ball, it's a blood roll. Hold the ball, please. Jordan.
Smith coming off the ground. One thing's for sure, he can't dispute it.
No, definitely not. Jordan Murdoch, the man with the ball in his hands, he should have the distance from here. He is a big kick of the footy. He's one of those few young Geelong players who've just, if they're going to be any chance, and it's probably getting beyond that pretty soon for the Cats, have just got to find a way of getting into this game. Only the 4 disposals. Darcy Lang's been quiet, just the 7. Motlop hasn't had a lot of impact. Cam Guthrie only the 9 disposals. Those blokes have got to get going.
So Murdoch, a punishing kick. It's a beauty. It's got the carry. Touch and go. I think it's okay. Big kick.
We spoke in the pre-game that the Swans are 7 from 7 when they win the scores from stoppages. Currently they're 5 goals, 1 to Geelong's 1 goal straight.
And that's why Murdoch's in the team, Lingy, because he can finish like that. I mean, that was a huge goal, both in terms of distance and the context. And now Selwood getting the ball to about 30 metres out. Clark did so well. Bartel, no. It was the right angle and everything, but we didn't think there'd be a goalkeeper back there. But the goalkeeper's been a good player tonight. Rampy kicks the ball out wide. Good effort by Richards. Sydney built that ball forward. These next minutes so vital for both teams because the Swans have done so well to establish a big lead. Jack Mackie takes the mark.
Hold.
Geelong with a chance to set something up late here and get a second late goal to build some hope at three-quarter time.
Hold now.
We'll show you some figures at the start of the last quarter, which if you're a Geelong fan will make you very happy in terms of their last quarters this season. So now Murdoch with that long kick.
Towards half forward, there's a push there. It's going to be a free kick to Hawkins. Crowd think it's overdue.
Okay, mate.
Not sure that's right.
Doesn't matter. No, not like that.
Nothing sinister, but the push was there. Hawkins has got the footy. A minute and a half till three-quarter time.
You.
Sends it deep into attack. Launching himself, Clark. Pocket to a half chance. Stolen away brilliantly by Kennedy. He's working his way into this contest. Rampy has been there from the opening minute. Kicks it outside the 50. And it will be a free kick to Rowan against Enright.
Right on it. Thank you.
Well done by Rowan. He had to run to get to the contest and then earn a free kick.
Move it on. Play on.
Cross half back.
It's you.
The Sydney speedster kicks it up towards the wing. From the side, Franklin. He's been well held. Towers. Keeping it in, Franklin, apparently. McVeigh driving down to half forward. Less than a minute remaining, and Lonergan will tidy up.
They've got time, Geelong. They do, but they do need to move it quickly. Guthrie. He's going to spread it. Not gaining any territory here. Murdoch, he can cover some distance, but that's slow and high, and the clock is starting to eat away here.
And Gary Rowan got across quickly there. Just to slow Andrew Mackie down, meant he couldn't play on. Get that fast play and rebound off half-back. Well defended again by the Swans.
So Motlop just spiralling the ball. Cockatoo setting himself. Mills. Ball gets over the back. Swans make a big mistake. Cockatoo twisting, turning. Jumping around shadows. Kicking to centre half forward. Towers. Hanbury. Selwood front on. Siren sounds. Big third quarter for the Swans. Hanbury hurt, I think. He's a tough nut. He'll pick himself up. And Sydney have a 27-point lead at three-quarter time. Massive Friday night here at Simmons Stadium. Swans lead at 11-7.
We're about to find out. The margin is 27 points. Friday night football. Simmons Stadium. Opening bounce. Geelong with a lot to do. Naismith goes up and wins decisively. Coming up the line, Towers. Straight, though, to Duncan. Down goes Guthrie. Lloyd waiting for him almost. Ambushed him. And a ball up.
Straight here, guys.
Out towards right centre wing for the Cats.
Play on.
Naismith.
Play on.
Outmanoeuvred that time by Zach Smith in the opposite direction. Hanbury got boot to ball, moved it. That was good. Towers inside the forward 50. Loose ball at the back. Kolodjasny gets back. Slips a hand pass away to Lonergan. Lonergan a high ball out towards the boundary. Coming back with courage, Parker. Offhands Cockatoo, smothered brilliantly by Mitchell. Cockatoo goes again in a tight situation, gets away, beats a couple, and now he's scurrying around the outer side. Kicks it down towards half forward. Going back, McVeigh. Aaliyah perfectly positioned, comes away with the footy.
And strides away purposely to centre wing. Cockatoo was good a moment ago. Parker breaking the tackle, releasing Mitchell back to Parker. Wants to go to Kennedy, does. Kennedy's in scoring range. Goes for it and gets it home. Team footy by the Swans.
For all of Nakia Cockatoo's good work here, the kick inside the Geelong forward line, it was the fact that Geelong were then just ball watching and weren't thinking about the fence. Once Sydney won it, Sydney had all the numbers in the attacking half of the ground, and they were able to just run it through. Good finish by Josh Kennedy. Perfect start for the Swans.
Selwood digs it out of the middle, kicks inside the forward 50. Hey!
Okay.
Dangerfield takes the mark opposed to Rampy. Two of the stars of the night. And Dangerfield will line up at goal from about 45 metres out, perhaps a little further. Man on the mark is 45 metres out. Dangerfield, 18 possessions. That's right, 18 in the opening term. But now has 26. They've worked hard on him and they've done very well, Sydney. He became a team project. Kick is on the way. It's missing. Well wide of the mark. Clever by Naismith, just helping the ball on its way. Young Sam Naismith, a commentator's dream. He's got long hair, a glove, socks up, and he's 2006 centimetres. We'll get him.
2016, that is tall.
You okay?
You are centimetre perfect usually, aren't you?
I just put another zero in there. That was my case.
I wish I could do that with my bank balance, Dennis.
Aaliyah. You don't need to, Lingy.
Yeah, come on,
And the mayor of Geelong's well off. Good mark taken by Rowan. We saw those numbers for Geelong's last quarters. They haven't lost the last quarter all year. They've been hammering teams, but they do need to hammer big time here tonight.
Move it on. Play on.
Rowan's been more than useful, hasn't he? Kicks it down the line. Sinclair. Big fly came from Parker early. Kennedy and Guthrie wrap one another up. Off the ground by Selwood. And a boundary throw in.
He's been bumped.
No huge influence, Selwood, tonight. In fact, Sydney's midfield collectively have outgunned Dangerfield and
Absolutely. Leave out Patrick Dangerfield's first quarter.
Yep.
That entire Sydney midfield have just dominated the Geelong midfield. Selwood, not much impact. Guthrie, pretty quiet night as well. And since quarter time, Paddy Dangerfield, very quiet.
Just off Hawkins there. Grundy, Parker. Here are a few of these midfielders. Jack spreading it. Mills. Mills kicks to half forward. Strong effort by Kolodjashnij. No mark though. A bit of bash and crash. And Sydney, this is all they have to do, Cam, really, is Papley to continue to make contested football and slow it down and keep the pressure on them. It's going to be impossible, we think, for Geelong.
If they turn this into an arm wrestle for 3 or 4 minutes and then just somehow manufacture a goal, the game's done. The game's cooked. And they might even get... No, Geelong ball here. I thought it might have been going Sydney's way. That's all they need to do. Hold on 4 or 5 minutes, not let Geelong score a goal, turn it round and kick one themselves.
Mackie with a good kick finds Duncan in midfield to Dangerfield. Suddenly a lot of space. And again, Cockatoo needs to go hard. Well, took his eye off the football. Rampy did not. Cockatoo, half chance. Rampy just wrenched it back, wanted it more. Mills gets it across towards Jones. Awkward bounce, and now they're out. It's 3-on-1. Mitchell wants to run at the defender, has a couple of bounces. Not the quickest man in the world. Papley comes up to assist, not required. Brilliant kick by Mitchell. And Franklin has taken the mark in the left full forward pocket. Just backs off. Well, this is slack. Rose is marked. 15 metres out.
Slack's the right word, Dennis. Geelong slow to get back and help Tom Lonergan out on Buddy Franklin. He found the space initially, but then they had plenty of time to make sure that Franklin was going to be kicking from that pocket. Just allowed Rose to slot in behind. We found out his nickname is Peanut.
In
Boys
comes
reckon it's
Rose.
a bit of fun.
And he's missed everything. You brought that up at a very good time. A Geelong man, obviously your voice carries, Lingy.
You can't call a bloke Peanut when he's having a shot
That's
for goal.
right.
You can do it if you're out on the field. Geez, a big miss, isn't it? Enright. Straight down the middle. Done it a lot tonight. Geelong hasn't really come off. Mitchell have built a terrific game. Hanbury's been excellent all night. Wide. Blitzhouse probably should have taken the mark there. Puts Lonergan under pressure. Gets it back to Enright. Good give to Mackie. They've both been good, Enright and Mackie. Spirals it forward. Strong mark by Clark. He's had a quiet night. Selwood running through the centre. Motlop. Oh, brilliantly done by young Mills. He's had a couple of big plays in the centre of the ground. Ball hooked over the back. Turnover. Kennedy bangs the ball forward. What a win for Sydney.
That was just sensational from Callum Mills. That intercept was a big spoil. That's been an unbelievable effort. They've destroyed Geelong off that half-back line with Aliir, and Rampy.
So Towers, has he got the distance, Jude? Do you know him well enough? Has he got the length here?
This will test him. This is right on the distance for Dean Towers.
He's kicked one tonight. Gee, he struck it all right. He struck it all right.
Flushed it.
He's flushed it and kicked a couple.
Straight back.
Callum Mills just read that beautifully there, the interception. But then Geelong had another chance. Just a poor, hopeful handball over the top. Kennedy got the ball forward and Dean Towers with the quality finish. Well, Sydney just too strong. They have been brilliant tonight.
Dangerfield storms away. Guthrie. Duncan. Dangerfield. Can he score? Runs inside the 50. Kick is on the way. And it's good. Well, that annuls the previous score, although the goal umpire has some
I believe
doubts.
it's a goal. I just want to check that it didn't clip the post on the way through.
Yeah, cool. Score review. Umpire scores a goal. Just check if it didn't hit the post.
Review underway.
Can I just go to the ball? What are you checking? Just to see if it hit the post.
Umpire concerned that Rampy was taking ownership.
He's in perfect position to make a call there, the umpire.
What did you call it as?
Review complete. Confirm goal.
So, in the space of 20 seconds, the Cats answered.
So a massive goal by Dangerfield.
Play on.
And the Cats skin it back to 5.5. Dangerfield again. Clark out of the centre. No mark taken by McCarthy.
Throw.
Gee, big turnover, big call here, Jack. Deemed a throw.
I think their tackling's been good.
Yeah.
Not just the numbers I'm talking about, the quality of them, just holding on there. Yeah, and well umpired, good decision. Didn't get a fist on it.
So Towers' free kick. So he's going to take it inside the forward 50, hugging that boundary line. Richards the first flyer, Clark building it away. This is such a long way back here for Geelong. They're 65-7 since 2007. They lost a couple of games here. North Melbourne famously in round 5, and even more famously in round 21, I think, with Port Adelaide, when Cassisi's left foot wobbled through. We were here, Dennis, for both those games. I don't think you played in that round 21. I can't remember exactly.
No, I didn't. Bruce had a bit of soreness, general soreness.
Oh, Geelong.
So Cats free kick. Anyway, 65-7, including those two losses.
But still got it. There's Dangerfield. Beats one man, and the kick not so good. Bounces out towards the wing and goes out of bounds.
And Geelong haven't been able to transfer any of their winning the ball down back into goals down the other end. They haven't been able to rebound really successfully. 0 goals, chains of play stemming from the back 50, whereas Sydney, on the other hand, 8 goals. So they've been able to move it really well. Geelong, just no movement. Good defence by Sydney.
Here's Guthrie, got it from Duncan. Blixarves was good moments ago. Here he is again for Duncan. Kicks towards the pocket. Jones in front, needs a spoil. Well done, Motlop, charging through his Hawkins. Pulls it back on the bounce. Murdoch couldn't control the footy. Got away. Aaliyah played it well twice. Motlop comes back. He's tackled. And we'll get a ball up, I think, about 25-30 metres out from Geelong's goal. And time now, a vital factor.
I think they found a tall defender, Sydney, don't you?
Terrific.
Ends up in the right spot, reads it well.
Holding, Sydney.
Aaliyah was really close to coming back in last week, but Jeremy Laidlaw obviously came back from injury, but he was very, very close to selection last week.
He was good in that game against Melbourne when it was bucketing down with rain, and still clean with the footy, still ended up in the right spots in conditions are extremely tough. They found another one there, the Swans.
So Lonigan picking that off. Interesting to see what Sydney do here, how defensively they play. I mean, if they continue to attack, I'm sure one more goal, we probably don't need another goal. Is that deliberate? I think it is.
Aaliyah from the East Fremantle Colts. He arrived at East Fremantle unannounced from Queensland.
Dan on the 50.
That's a very good player. Guthrie, centering ball in from the side. Mills falls in front. Jack got the opening goal tonight. Set the tone. Hewitt gave it to Mitchell. High ball to the outer side. Free kick to Richards. Held by Lonigan. Margin 33 points midway through this final term. And Richards, good to see him back. He'll drive it close to the line on the outer side. Good mark by Henderson.
So Henderson switching it rather dangerously, but it's okay. Clark to Murdoch. Motlop. A quiet night. He's had some magical moments this year, but in a slight slump. Slow movement. Careful kick to half forward. Strong mark taken by the captain.
Push out, give it a 10. Joel, hold there, that's your line, close to it.
Big
2
work rate.
Joel, 2 metres behind. There it is. Now come out with me.
Big
5
work
more.
rate from the skipper. Through the midfield, just kept going forward.
15 gone.
If there any chance, simply must kick this.
And hasn't. He's got the hook going too often. Just with Teddy Richards, I don't know, Jude, if you're there, did he play forward in the reserves? I mean, do you think we're going to see him as a defensive forward from now on?
No, I think they just wanted to change the structure and get a bit of a contest inside forward 50. I think coming into the game, it was the biggest issue was avenues to goal, but also having a bit of front half presence. And they only had the 5 goal kickers last week against the Doggies, and they're up to 11 today.
Here's Murdoch close to the boundary line, running out of space. Pressure came from Hewitt. Haven't stopped with that pressure tonight. Boundary throw in.
So, Jude, on that, do you reckon he'll play forward against Hawthorn next Thursday night or not?
Well, I think because it's worked so well as that foil, I think they can't change at the moment. He's been organising this forward line, pulling people back, getting it reset each time. So it's worked well structurally.
Cockatoo got it from Blixarves, kicks inside the forward 50, knocked down in front. Mills had a play on the football, did pretty well with his second effort. And against the behind post there from Bartel, we'll have a boundary throw in.
Come back with me, Jimmy.
Oh, no, in fact, it's on the full, said the umpire,
On that
because
side of the boundary
he got
line.
it clean.
Stay aside.
So the Swans with this big lead. Terrific third quarter. Strong second term after they were headed early. Ruggles held up and the ball up.
The tackling numbers for Sydney at the moment are only 68, and I say only because recent games we've seen Port Adelaide have over 100 and huge numbers like that. But of that 68, gee, they've been good. They've been genuine high-quality tackles. A couple of times where Geelong appeared to be out and they've just managed to hold on. Their pressure has been outstanding.
And saw a bit of it there, didn't we? And, gee, the smother, that really stinging Duncan, but picks himself up. That would whinge you left, right and centre any day of the week. Wow.
I don't think you can underestimate how important it is for the Sydney to have a ruckman who can get his hand to the footy like Naismith has tonight. He's had 19 hit-outs tonight.
32 points the margin. Lloyd does well, improvising with his shepherd there. Lloyd's hand pass knocked down. Cockatoo couldn't find a way through. Blixarves' kick was smothered. Guthrie missed the target. Now Jones is away. Drives a long ball. It's a race towards the outer side wing. Richards and Kolodjasny. Kolodjasny works in front of Richards. Richards, did it stay in? Well, some of the ball did, obviously. Rowan's got the ball now. He kicks from left half forward. Long down towards full forward. Papley is going back, and he takes the mark. Well, just simply outpointed Ruggles. Not sure he was in the best spot for a while, but made the best spot.
Good mark. Love this from Ted Richards. Just stayed in the game. All nearly out. Kolodjasny just assumed. You can't assume. Richards got the handball off to Rowan. And then this is clever body use. Read the drop of the ball. Just protected the space. Good mark. Well-deserved goal.
Papley comes in and kicks the goal. He's got his second. Well done.
So look at the live ladder. And, I think Geelong were the bookmakers' favourites, certainly about a week ago. There's a good chance Hawthorn will be favourite for the flag for the first time in a long time this season. I mean, they have been perennially for such a long time. And what about next Thursday night? 1v2. Sydney and Hawthorn at the SCG. How big that'll be. Naismith, good tackle, Cockatoo, but Naismith's done his role with all those tap-outs. Aliir, I'm not sure how many mistakes he's made tonight. Not too many. That was so smooth. Kick by Grundy, cut off. Cockatoo off a step. Poor kick. And Mills has been quite superb.
Just over 8 minutes remaining now. Mills to Aliir. Nicely done. Short. Here's Hewitt. Talked about it before the game. Somehow Sydney have found the magic elixir. They're building on the run. Some of these youngsters coming in are doing a terrific job for them. Cockatoo thumps it back towards the kicker. Mills, nicely done. Mitchell, hasn't he worked into the game? Long kick down towards half forward. Over the top, thumped away by Geelong's defence. Mackie on his knees. Blixarves quick hands. Henderson in trouble. Well, came back to him. He was rather lucky. Hand pass from Cockatoo. Ruggles out wide. Zach Smith finds himself in space. That's been a rarity. Back to Guthrie. Guthrie across the ground. Will it get there in time? Conceding nothing. Wonderful by Richards. Knocked it away from Duncan. Coming up is Taylor. Across his bow is McVeigh. Loose ball. Third man gets the cheese. Duncan feeds it forward. Taken now by Murdoch. He slips over. Right at the interchange gates. Finds McCarthy onto Duncan. Now Duncan in clear air. Kicks it down towards half forward. Good kick too. But the mark is taken by Hawkins.
First bit of real separation for Tom Hawkins tonight. Been well held by Heath Grundy with a bit of help from Aliir and also, of course, Dane Rampy, who's been huge.
With me now.
Just a nice kick from Mitch Duncan.
15 got.
Taylor was good a moment ago, wasn't he? Just to keep McVeigh out of the contest. Just the one for Hawkins tonight. They've just struggled to hit the scoreboard. 8 goals only. That one coming back's a good kick, holding the line. He gets his second, but the Cats still trail by a big margin. So it went in Hawkins 2, and at the other end, Buddy just the one. So
yeah, Tom Lonergan's done a good job on Buddy Franklin. The way Sydney have played, you'd think Buddy would have had even more of an impact on this game, but Grundy's beaten Hawkins, and I think Lonergan's beaten Franklin, but Franklin's got the last laugh.
Silva terrific to Zach Smith. Good courage by Jones. Building the ball away. Guthrie. McVeigh's been good. Oh, beautiful hands to Hanbury. Hanbury just trying to get the angle right there. And a boundary throw in. What do you think of Towers, Jude? For us, there's a frame there. He can make a mistake or two. He's kicked a couple. I mean, how's his development?
Yeah, I think he's gaining confidence each week. I think he had his career high, disposals and goals a couple of games ago. But he's been one of those fringe players. He just needs to keep consistently performing well.
Selwood running out the game hard. Clark, Motlop, Cockatoo. His first inclination is to beat the man. Mitchell, Hanbury. That's holding the ball surely. Good tackle by Clark, not rewarded. Mitchell, well played. Kennedy. And now Jones comes out wide. Towers, nice height, Towers. Misses the mark this time. It rolls out of bounds.
And you talk about Nakai Cockatoo's first inclination, Dennis, to break the tackler. Against teams like Sydney and the really high-quality teams, and when you come into finals, those tackles don't get broken. And that's where he's got to learn. Sometimes just give the first option, do the simple thing well. When there's other times and you've probably got the tackler beaten, that's when you take that chance to do something special.
Kennedy looking for space. He wants the boundary here. This will be interesting, isn't it? Well, Taylor let it go, but he almost runs it out, Harry, but gets it to Ruggles. That kick hanging a bit. Jack almost started the game sensationally. Jack, well, he ragged on. Okay, fair enough. Kick down the line. Good defensive work by Nick Smith. Attacking the ball hard. Strong tackle coming back on him by Ruggles. Back to Zach Jones. He's been important. Back to Lloyd. Lloyd around the body. Clever. Mark taken by Kieran Jack. He set the tone in the first minute. What a difficult week he's had. Stuff that we don't need to know anything about, but we do, sort of. And he's kicked a couple, and in his 200th game, he's covered himself in glory, I reckon.
Stay clear. Out.
And they're going to have a big win.
They certainly are, and he'll enjoy it. Clever, just looking up at the scoreboard. He's going to take every single second. Just professional. Everything he does, Kieran Jack, prepares himself unbelievably well.
He's kicked 3 goals 4 times in a match. Could he do it? No. So that one out on the full. Jared McVeigh, this is his 10th game here, Jared McVeigh. He's never won before at Kardinia Park. He didn't play in that famous victory, obviously. I mean, it's been a long wait for some of these players.
Jones getting high, thumping away from Menzel. Defining match, this one. I think we'll be talking about this later in the season. Geelong really have some fighting back to do now. Humble tonight. Naismith been very good. Hanbury bounced off Lloyd. Clark knocks it out of there. Mitchell, clever hands. Lloyd surrounded, gets a kick off, floats inside the forward 50. Papley goes back. Free kick to Taylor. Well, probably the one duel they've won. They haven't won too many, and Taylor has done a pretty good job.
2 metres, 2 metres.
He has, with Lonergan, and Henderson's been okay as well. Drops out as I speak, keeps it down. Knew it was going to happen. Papley, he coughs it up, Henderson, and a boundary throw. Jude, just thinking about Naismith and the rucks, how far's Tippett away? I mean, is he a long way away?
Well, they put him on the long-term injury list, so they're going to give him as long as he needs. I think it's an 8-week minimum for that injury for a start. So, I mean, this is a chance for Naismith to really cement himself in the spot now.
played one game, Sam Naismith, before tonight. That was in 2014. I mean, this has been a good performance, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The biggest worry about him has been his tank, and that's probably one area they were going to elevate him or put him in the senior side a few weeks ago, but he cramped up at needful level. But he just keeps working on his tank, and he'll be a very, very good player.
You think of the ins tonight, Papley, Aliir, Naismith and Richards have all been good ins, haven't they?
Jones, another young player, well played. Showed too much of it to Enright, who punches it towards Mills. Enright kept coming, well done. Mills, though, he's stronger than he looks, I've got to say that. Hanbury, Lloyd, we've seen evidence of that tonight. Here's Jack. Towards left half forward. And they're just rubber stamping this victory now. One thing you know about this midfield, as we see Jack kick it to Parker, is every game they come for the long haul. They won't drop off. They will keep coming at you, and that's something Geelong just haven't come to terms with tonight. Even Dangerfield, so good, so brilliant early. But eventually these guys have just outworked their immediate opponents.
Might get that third goal, Den, Jack.
Yeah, directly in front. Man on the mark is 45, sorry.
No, that's all right. No, I was going to say that's what good sides do, Dan. You're absolutely right. They play the same way for the entire game. The intensity's high, the pressure's high, the skill execution under fatigue is high quality. And they just don't go away. And that's what Sydney do so well. And this man certainly leads the way with a few of those other midfielders in all of those areas.
And you're a man qualified to talk about it. Did all of that. There goes the kick from Jack. And he's got it. That's fitting, eh? First goal and maybe the last one. Well done, Kieran Jack.
So how's this reaction? I mean, here we go. He almost tears up a little here, Kieran Jack. So he equals a career high, the 200th game. He's kicked the first goal of the match. He's probably kicked the last goal of the match.
Gee, it shows his mental strength. To be able to put all of that aside and then just come out and deliver a captain's performance.
And it's what Jude Bolton told us pre-match, he wasn't exactly that. They have been so impressive tonight, the Swans. And recriminations for Geelong. I mean, it's going to be a long, long week down here at Sleepy Hollow, isn't it?
It will be, yep. Their deficiencies have been found out tonight against a very good team, a team that's going to certainly play finals football and deep into the finals. So Geelong now, they either take what they've learned out of tonight and fix a few things up and get their season going again, or you'd think they may just be one of a number who drop away come the end of the season. Sydney at the moment, with a huge Thursday night game coming up against the Hawks, got themselves a chance to really lock away that top 2 spot and a home final in the first week of finals, and they'd be so hard to beat up there in Sydney.
They probably start favourites next Thursday night after this at home.
Dangerfield. Centering kick. Enright. Dangerfield, 18 possessions in the opening term. What's he got now? 34. So they closed him down. And really, that was the end of the penny section. Selwood finishes up with the football. Sydney finish up with a victory. Stirring stuff. Kieran Jack, broad smile. 3 goals tonight. Shrugged off the problem he had. So the emotions spill over. He's in his natural habitat in many ways, and perhaps that's where he feels best. Terrific performance by him. We've talked about his problems. Dangerfield, who started so well, it wasn't enough.
Lowest score for the year for Geelong, heaviest defeat for the season. It's been a remarkable night for Sydney.
Long look at themselves coming up, I think, Bruce. One of those long looks.
Well, Jude Bolton, you spoke so glowingly about Kieran Jack pre-match. He delivered in spades, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely, Bruce. 24 disposals, 3 goals. Kieran, how did you manage to compartmentalise after such a tumultuous week? It's been a huge week. How did you get focused on the game?
Oh, yeah, it was a tough week, but I'm not the only one in this sort of position, The support I had from the football club, fantastic. You know, we was able to move on pretty quickly, and I can't thank the club enough for what they've done. So I'm just wrapped to get a win. You know, it was really good, really important for our season, especially to bounce back from last week's disappointment. That was the main thing I was focused on, and great to get a win down here.
You could see the emotion in your eyes though when you kicked that last goal, and all the boys got around you.
Oh, it's huge. We're like brothers out here. You know, it's great. It's something you can't really describe to other people, but a special feeling and a great win.
And what about, some of the younger blokes who stood up today? Aliir was sensational, and obviously Callum Mills and Dane Rampy off half-back as well.
I thought our back line, which is relatively young now, when you throw Aliir in, was outstanding. You know, he's done his time in the twos, and he's coming in and making a real impact. Good on you, mate. And I thought he was fantastic. Millsy too. He's glad he kicked his first goal for a change.
And it sets up a huge clash next Thursday against the Hawks.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got to move on pretty quick. Another 6-day break, so I think we can gain confidence off the back of last week into this week, and hopefully another good result.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Bolton. Good on you.
Yeah, a couple of brothers in arms there, Jude Bolton and Kieran Jack. Aliir was a revelation, Dennis, wasn't he?
Well, he's got across to Heath Grundy, and Heath Grundy is seeing the future before his eyes, isn't he? Hopefully not his spot.
Yeah. Played against Brisbane in round 6. He played against Melbourne in round 13. And he comes down here. Well, what a collective effort by the midfield, Jude. 33 for Tom Mitchell. He was a big part of it.
Yeah, they were massive. The midfielders, Tommy, obviously, Dangerfield was prolific in that opening term. 18 disposals, but the boys put the clamps on.
Yeah, obviously we tried to. He's obviously, probably the best player in the comp right now, and it was going to be a, collective effort to try and nullify him as much as we could. But he obviously got off the chain. He's such a good player, but we're just really happy we got the win.
What about the work from Sam Naismith? Obviously, he's second game up for this season, and just an incredible effort in the run.
Yeah, awesome effort from him. Obviously, he's only played one game before tonight, and he's been playing some really good footy in the reserves, and he was great for us today and gave us a really good contest.
And the boys were prolific through the midfield in terms of that uncontested possession, and it really bonded together really well through that.
Yeah, we did, and obviously, it was a big game for the club. We wanted to do it for our captain, Kizza, and we're really, really proud that we can play alongside him every week and that we got the win for him.
Fantastic work, mate. Thanks.
So Franklin 1 goal. So it wasn't off the back of Buddy. It was off the back of 4 or 5 outstanding midfield efforts and 3 or 4 great efforts by young guys, including this bloke here.
Buddy started as though he was going to have a big night, didn't he? He was in the mood. So credit Taylor.
And so much about Kieran Jack tonight coming in, and his response was emphatic. Early goal, the first goal of the match, the last goal of the match, and you can see the joy there. So Sinclair, second banana really tonight in some ways as ruckman. Mills might get that Rising Star nomination.
Wonderful tackle and just a good night, a real good night.
Well, Hamish and Cameron Ling. Haim, we thought it might be a revealing night. It has certainly turned out to be that. One team rockets into Thursday night next week, and the other one suddenly is stuck in a quagmire.
Summed it up pretty well, Bruce. It's been an interesting season, hasn't it, for the Cats? So brilliant in the first 8 rounds. Just the one loss against the Giants, and since round 9, they've been spluttering. The Pies and the Blues back-to-back losses, and then 3 good wins. The Giants, North Melbourne, and the Bulldogs, and then a really disappointing loss before the bye, 3-point loss to the Saints. Had the week off. We thought they would bounce. They haven't. They've been humbled. Now they've lost 3 of the last 4 against the Swans, and we talked about 6 sides coming in, Lee, 10 and 4. This side lost with the last kick of the game last week. What better way to respond and put up a huge performance on Friday Night Football, and congratulations to that man there. As we've said so often tonight, a week you'd rather forget, a performance to be so proud of.
He led the way beautifully, Kieran Jack tonight. Started with his goal, finished with his goal. And it was a matter of that Sydney midfield just in the end dominating the Cats. They were hard, they were tough. Their pressure was first class, and they gave themselves enough opportunities to kick the winning score. And John Longmire giving his skipper a big hug there. He'd be wrapped with the way his teams responded, John Longmire. They'd be bitterly disappointed with dropping that game last week to the Bulldogs with a kick pretty much on the siren. But they've come down to Geelong and they've won against another quality team, another team vying for top 4. And this will feel extra special to belt out this song.
So Brandon Jack on the left of Kieran Jack. Amazingly, we talk about leaders within football clubs. How often do leaders do magnificent things when they are under pressure, backs against the wall? Kieran Jack personally this week, I can't imagine how difficult it would have been to pick up the papers and have your relationship judged by so many when it should be such a personal thing, to have such a raw part of your life discussed, to come out on Friday Night Football in your 200th game and perform magnificently is a big tick and a big credit to a man's personality.
Absolutely right, Hayne. Well, very well said, and just the singular focus of him to be able to get his mind back to footy, to preparing the right way for footy. Brett Kirk giving him a big hug there, but bringing it back to footy and then going out and delivering on the big stage of Friday night footy against, as I said before, another good quality team. He did it through his actions too. He just went out there and won the footy, put pressure on, tackled from the start. I can still remember the first couple of tackles of the game. He was involved with these, but he started off beautifully with the first goal of the game, and his teammates straight away got around him. And that's a sign, Hayne, when the teammates come from everywhere. They don't have to do that, but when your teammates come from everywhere just to get around their skipper, shows how popular he is as a player at the Sydney Swans, and such a clever player, an All-Australian, premiership player. And he, along with all of that Sydney midfield, were just brilliant tonight.
This ground has had the habit this year of allowing the first goal to be significant. Stevie Johnson, when he came back here, got the first. Charlotte crying in the stands. What an extraordinary moment.
Yeah, obviously a tough week for her as well. As we've said, so many things that you'd think would stay very private came out in the public, and would have been a tough week for her, tough week for his parents as well, and also all the Jack family. But a really tough week for Kieran Jack, because he's the one who then has got to push all of that aside and go out and play footy. And he did that brilliantly well tonight. He deserves a lot of credit, and it was great that he even had a chat with Jude Bolton out on the ground after it. He would have been within his rights to say, no, I don't want to talk, it's been too big a week, but just front it up. He does everything with class, that bloke.
He's a quality man, isn't he? Aliir. So it was Kieran Jack's 200th, Aliir's third game only. And I think a lot of us had seen bits and pieces of Aliir, but I don't think we've seen as complete a performance as we saw tonight.
No, you're right, Hayman. And the thing that impressed me most was little moments like that, just reading the drop of the ball, knowing where to end up. It's okay saying, okay, he looks like he's just going to be another tall, athletic player and he's been brought in for his athleticism. Well, no, he's a footballer.
Yep.
He can read the play, he uses the ball well, he's really sound with his decision-making. When the ball's in hand, he just chooses the right option. And playing down back, just being able to come off his opponent at the right time, stay with his opponent and get a spoil in, that's a sign that he's going to turn himself into a good player.
Good night to have a big game. Friday night footy multicultural round. So Aliir, best performance of his short AFL career.
I took what you gave, but you never noticed that I was in vain. I knew what I wanted, I went on and got it. Did all the things that you said that I wouldn't. I told you that I would never be forgotten. I know that's right of you.
Big thanks to Andy and the team at CB for the Friday front bar, Friday night footy. A loss to the Dogs last week for the Swans. Last kick of the night tonight, first 3 goals of the night. And the Cats humbled in their own house. Doesn't often happen. First loss here at the Cattery this year after the Swans had their first loss at the SCG last week, and what sets up an extraordinary Thursday night game. We think that the GWS will beat Collingwood, so it won't be 1-2 depending on percentages, but it will be 1-2 or 1-3.
Well, it'll be a brilliant game no matter what. 2 proven teams, the Hawks and the Swans, and Kieran Jack, well, we've already touched on the week that he's been through and the way that he responded tonight, just chatting with a few of the board members there from the Swans, and he will enjoy that one, and all of this Sydney team will.
We see Tommy Harley there just patting Kieran on the back. How much would Tom's knowledge of this ground and his former teammates helped Kieran and the Swans tonight?
A little bit, but I think this Sydney team showed just how well prepared they are, how well coached they are. I mean, John Longmire made 4 changes and he threw the team around a little bit. Teddy Richards played at full forward instead of full back. Little moves like that. They were obviously so well prepared, understood what they needed to do tonight, and they did it. So Tom Harley, I'm not sure he'd have much more to offer because the team has changed so much since he's gone, but maybe a little bit this ground. Certainly this ground. It is long and narrow, this one, but Sydney, they were well prepared and they executed perfectly.
Dane Rampe is an unbelievable story. He was playing for University of New South Wales in 2012, won the Phelan Medal. I actually was MC that night. I presented him with the medal and sort of half jokingly said, do you have any aspirations to play AFL? He said, I've had 3 seasons at Williamstown. I was asked to train with the Bulldogs. Not sure where I go from here. He was rookie listed. Here he is.
I'm glad he stuck with his aspirations to play because he plays the game very well. And he was the one who shifted a lot of the momentum when Geelong were dominating for a period of time back Sydney's way. Intercept marks, just controlled that entire back line, set them up so well. And as far as influence on the game, he was clearly the Tissot man of the match. Dan Hanbury was very good. Mitchell was very good. But Dane Rampe was that steadying influence. And as I said, he just kept chopping off attack after attack for Geelong. And that's why he got the votes and that's why he got the watch.
Well, he's wearing 24. It was worn well before him. Dane's with Jude Bolton.
I'm here with the Tissot man of the match today, Dane Rampe, mate. There's your Tissot. Congratulations, mate. 23 disposals and running at 91% efficiency. What a massive win this was for the club, though, mate.
It was a massive win, and to do it for a leader like Kizza in a really important week for him. Just really proud of the boys, really proud of his efforts, and then the boys rallying behind him. I think it was really important for the club and himself.
Absolutely. I mean, he's had such a tough week. There's so much external noise. For him to cope the way he did, you must be pretty proud of him.
Mate, really, really, really proud. I think the way he spoke at the presser on Thursday just spoke a lot about his character and him and BJ, and the club, I guess, should be really proud of his achievement, and the way he handled himself, I thought was first class, and just really glad we got the win for him.
What about the effort after quarter time? Because Dangerfield was obviously in superb form. What was the message at quarter time?
Mate, just stick to our structures. Obviously, Danger was running ramp in the first quarter, but I think Tommy Mitchell did a really good job in that second quarter, kept 3 touches or something, and we just went from there. We backed the boys in, no matter who we come up against, and it was a really good win.
You've got some young faces around in the half-back line, but Aliir was sensational, and obviously Callum Mills as well.
Yeah, they're super, and I think the maturity on their heads is really important for us moving forward. And not only that, they bring an energy and enthusiasm that I think really drives the group and is really infectious. So it's really good to have them back down there.
Sensational work today, mate.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
As good as he was, Home, he deserves a watch just for that moustache. It is beautiful.
It's something you would normally see in a different industry.
It's got the little
with different music
going
in the background on a different channel. It's sort of